Oh, absolutely.
Matt, I know you're going to stay on the line with us for a little while. BJ is going to be calling in any minute.
He's actually on now. We just got him on here. We have the Prodigy, BJ Penn, on the line right now. BJ, what's going on?
What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you, BJ?
I'm doing great. Hey, Mitch and Bryan, I wanted to thank you guys for doing such a great job and being on the team together. It's great having you guys around.
Yeah, I never even heard of those guys before.
Been a true honor, BJ.
Thank you.
I mean,
And is Matt Hughes on the phone?
Yeah, he is.
How you doing,
BJ, I'm doing good. I had to get on your show so that I find out how your training's going, because for some reason your phone's not working right. It's not receiving my text.
Matt Hughes is the guy that has to learn how to answer his phone, man.
Hey, BJ, this is your radio show, so it's your world, and I'll abide by your rules, buddy.
Oh, yeah, how's the kids? How's the family?
Everybody's great. Everybody's great. Just here, I think it was a couple weeks ago, Hannah said, "Where's BJ at? When's BJ coming back?" So she was thinking about you here a couple weeks ago.
Tell her thank you. Tell her thank you for thinking of me.
Fill us in on training.
Training's coming along. When are we going to get you down here is the question.
Well, we get off this. You're going to send me a text on where you're at and when you want me there, and we'll go from there.
Okay, that's how you get things done, folks, in a public forum. There's no way
Hell
to get
yeah.
out.
On DJPenn.com radio, we make stuff happen.
I was actually.
No, but I think, yeah, come down, Matt, and I think, you know what, when you see what's going on, I think you're going to be pleased. You're going to be happy with everything.
Okay, and I've seen pictures, so you're look. No doubt you're looking good, doing some posing for the camera. So, hey, I know these guys got a bunch of questions.
More often now.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
I said, I know these guys got a bunch of questions for you, so I'll step off the line. I'll let them finish with you, and good luck, buddy. And I'll talk to you here in a little bit when you get off the line.
Matt,
yes, sir. Thank you, Matt. Talk to you soon.
Matt, it's been an honor to talk to you and a real pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
I agree.
Thank you guys. You guys have a good day.
Have a good one, Matt. We appreciate it.
Bye.
BJ, right before you came on, I was about to ask Matt.
Can you believe that? Hey, can you believe that? This show is so big. We got Matt Hughes on the show on a Wednesday.
I know, right?
That's a busy man. That's a busy man. So if he's taking time to come on the show, good job, guys.
He was actually sitting in a.
We appreciate it.
He was sitting in a parking lot on his way to. He's in New Mexico, I think, on his way to Colorado to go hunting.
Yeah, he's a busy man. You know, when we were there, we would train in the morning, and then he would take us to it. He would lift weights before we got there. Then we'd train with him at 10 o'clock. He'd lift weights at like 5 in the morning. We'd train with him at 10 o'clock. Then he'd drop us off at his house and just and we'd go in the air condition and stay in the basement all day and just eat food. And he would go work on the farm all day, and then he'd come back and then he'd spar with us all at night again. And then he'd make us dinner, barbecue something up for us. Just a hard worker. That guy is a hard worker.
Yeah, I was about to ask him. You know, we had asked him, who two of his toughest opponents were, and he said you and GSP. And I was about to ask him, with the rivalry that you two had, how did it come about that you guys started training together and become, friendly and become good friends?
Well, you know what? I think probably the rivalry, because Matt is a real nice guy. He's got the dry humor, and people don't realize it, So he comes out, the way they edit it, you never know how it's going to come off with Matt's dry humor, because he doesn't tell you if he's joking or not. He just thinks you're supposed to get it, So with that said, though, Matt's always been a nice guy, and I think any rivalry was probably because I was a young kid, running my mouth, But as I got older, and you hang out with Matt for 5-10 minutes, you realize, he's a good guy.
Well, the respect level's got to be huge too. I mean, you compete with somebody, especially the 3 times like you guys did. Just 2 warriors going at it. 2 champions. It's
Well, you know what? Of our 3 fights, that's what I always say. It was submission of the night, then fight of the night, then knockout of the night. like every time there's always something, something going on when me and him would step in the ring. It always ended. Yeah, it never went past the second round, me and him, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I never thought about that.
No.
3 fights, we never went past the second round.
It's crazy.
How are things going, BJ, out in Hawaii? How's your training going?
Training's coming along. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier with how everything is, and I'm in the gym trying to put in my time, and that's about it. And then now we got in shape this last couple months. I think it really was a blessing that the fight got pushed back and had more time to train, and that was the best part about it for me, that I got that extra time so I could work out more. And now for this next 4 weeks, the sparring partners are gonna just keep rolling in. So we're giving it an honest effort, and we're gonna see how everything works out.
Well, this is a very interesting matchup. I mean, you got, on one hand, you got one of the all-time greats in yourself against this young, hungry kid in Rory MacDonald, who's really looked phenomenal, throughout his career, working his way up. His only loss in the UFC against Carlos Condit. So the fight he's winning up until the end when Condit just went, turned that second switch on and really took it to him. What do you think about this matchup? Because obviously, you're at a point in your career where you're really only looking to fight the interesting matchups. What interested you about Rory MacDonald?
Well, of course, I wanted to, have another match against TriStar for Roz and stuff. And it doesn't have to be a bad blood way, but just in a technical way, I feel like I can show more to them the next time we fight. But without a doubt, Rory's one of, he's got a lot of hype on him, and then I can see why. He's done great. He's in great condition. He can kick, he can punch, he can wrestle. He knows how to fight on the ground, and he's so. Right now, everybody's saying he's going to be one of the next good guys, and those are the kind of guys I like to fight. The people that they say are going to be the best guys are the best guys, right? So it just works out double for me. He's a really good opponent, and for Roz, I get to compete against him again.
Now, have you brought in anybody, specifically to train for this fight? I know, you trained a lot with Matt Hughes before. I also brought in Pat Healy a couple of times. Anybody specific you brought in for this fight?
Right now, Jay Hiran, Pat Healy, and Tariq Safadine are down here. So I'm sparring with them right now. And, and after that, they got some more guys. I don't know for sure all the names are. But wrestlers, we got some guys for sure coming. We got some guys.
I wanted to get your thoughts on. I know you guys are undergoing the VADA testing. Can you explain to us what's all involved with that?
The VADA testing. One thing about it, they know how to catch you. They know how to catch you off guard. I just heard a knock on the door, and I thought, I was like, oh, my friend's here already. Looked outside. They're like, hey, we're from VADA. I'm like, wow, you guys know how to catch someone, So it's good. It's good. It's good how they do it. I like to see that. But, I think I've said it before, and, I know one, it's good for the sport, but two, and the main number one reason I'm doing it, I just want to, take care of my safety, take care of everything, and make sure this is just a good, clean fight.
And you'll be fighting in Seattle. I know you had said, you were happy. Obviously, you don't have to go all the way to Montreal. Apparently, you said you have a lot of fans in Seattle. So, what are some of the other benefits fighting so close to home?
I don't know. I am happy though. I'm happy to fight on the West Coast. Seattle, I don't mind that place at all for some reason. I'm sure I'm gonna feel just as comfortable as if we were fighting in Las Vegas, or maybe even more comfortable.
Absolutely. And, I also wanted to ask you because, I know this is a huge card, UFC on Fox 5. I mean, really more stacked than the typical UFC pay-per-view. In the main event, you got Benson Henderson and Nate Diaz fighting for that lightweight title. And that's a title you've held previously before, and, we're on a tear when you were the champion. What are your thoughts on that fight? I know you trained with, Diaz a little bit, when, Ultimate Fighter Season 5. How do you see that one going down?
You know what? that's a good fight. I don't even know what to call. You know, I know Benson personally, and of course I've known Diaz for a while. Nate. I think that's the two best 155 pounders in the world are going to step in the ring on that night, and we're going to find out what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be a war. The whole card is stacked. You know, you also got Shogun fighting Alexander Gustafsson. That's another really interesting match. Kind of similar to your fight with Rory, where you have one of the greats in that division fighting a young guy coming up. So it's really cool that we can see matchups like that in MMA these days. Wanted to ask you about the Hawaiian MMA landscape, because there's a lot of tough guys coming out of Hawaii. Always been the case, because obviously Hawaiians are born fighters. Who are some guys working their way up that you think we need to watch out for?
Well, right now, Max Holloway, he's in the UFC. Eddie Yagin, he's another guy, a Hawaii veteran. He's in the UFC. And just around town though, we got a big fight coming up in Maui, and the Just Scrap. It's Kendall Groves and Chris Cisneros. So everybody knows Kendall. Kendall's the man. One of the best fighters out of Hawaii of all time. So, and then the guy he's fighting against, Chris Cisneros, he's a kickboxer from Hilo and an MMA fighter. He's had some big fights too. So that's gonna be a good fight to see what's going on in the state. But Maui's got a lot of good fighters. Lolohea Mahi, he just fought one of my guys, Chad Thomas. Lolohea won the fight, and he's another tough guy out of Hawaii. But you know what? There's just so much new guys coming out now. I can't even keep track. There's so many, too many guys. Nainoa Dong, little Nainoa Dong, he's going to be one of the next guys in the next 10 years. More like six or 7 years. So they got some guys coming up.
There's a lot of good welterweights. We talked about it with Matt Hughes before. A lot of good welterweights that are becoming contenders. Wanted to get your thoughts on the Martin Kampman-Johnny Hendricks fight that's going to be taking place at UFC 154.
Mm-hmm. I think, I think that's going to be a great fight. Because Kampman, his takedowns are pretty good, like he does well. He's done well with everybody. I mean, if you look at the list of guys he fought Alves and Ellenberger, and he fought a lot of good guys, and then Hendricks just knocked out Fitch, just beat Koscheck, so that's going to be a great fight, man. I want to watch that. That's going to be good.
We actually had Benson Henderson on the show a couple of weeks, about 2 weeks ago, and he said one of his goals growing up and just, as he was training was to fight on the same card with you. He's just all the time when I'm contacting managers and PR reps and fighters, it's the same story that, they're huge fans of yours, the respect is so high. How does it, make you feel when you hear something like that coming from a current UFC champion, that, this is a dream of his that he's about to fulfill, to be on the same card with you?
Yeah. You know what? It's just so amazing. Just like as the journey, as I've traveled through this whole thing, it's just so amazing. I don't even know what to expect, around any corner, and because it's almost like it's almost like you're in the mix and you're trying to do it, and it's like you don't even deserve that credit yet because you're just trying to, you're never giving up, like still the trying part, not ready to take the. He's just because if you forget about that stuff, it's like that. All your accomplishments, you never remember what you've done last year. You forgot about all that. Now it's just on the move again, trying to get back where you were. So it's like, it's just amazing to have a guy like Benson Henderson, saying that. And he was my sparring partner for the Diego Sanchez fight. And as soon as he came in and I got a few workouts in with him, I knew he was going to go far. I knew it immediately. So it's just amazing how life is.
Well, BJ, I also wanted to ask because I'm in the Air Force station here in New Mexico, but I would love to get stationed in Hickam someday. I hear amazing things about it. I've never been to Hawaii before, but if I do get the chance to go there someday, where's the places I got to go? Some things I got to do when I get there.
In Oahu?
Yeah, in Hawaii.
Yeah. In Waikiki, when you gotta just drive around the island. You got to drive around the island and just check everything out for sure. Go to the North Shore and go to the different places, and then of course you got to fly to the Big Island, come to Hilo, drive around. That's one thing. The Big Island is so big. You can go see the volcano. You can go see different things. I mean, it's just so many scenic views. You guys will just have a great time. Over here, you can go to Waipio Valley. So many waterfalls. It's good, unbelievable.
Yeah, I'd love to get up there someday. I mean, that's always been, a place. I my dream list.
Yeah,
One of my places I'd love to go.
If you end up in Hickam, you got to get over to Hilo for every once in a while for sure.
Oh, hell yeah. Sounds like a plan. There's a big fight card coming up this weekend, and I say the big one because it's the first UFC event that's going to take place in China. Rich Franklin and Kung Lee headlining. Want to get your thoughts on that event, that first Chinese UFC event, and if you think the sport can be as big as it is here in the States, over there in China, because obviously there's a huge, martial arts heritage in China.
Yeah, I think, I think as it's going to be strong like how it is in North America, and South America is strong, and of course Europe is growing. And I think as we start to, the UFC starts to move, I guess it's west from Hawaii, but they call it the Far East or whatever. As they start to move that way, I think that's where a lot of the things I think they're going to have the biggest fights ever. I think that's where they're going to hold out. That's where I think everything's going to, just get really, really take off over there in Asia. China, Philippines, of course, Japan and Korea already knows about MMA, and I think that's where it's really going to explode now as a full international sport.
BJ, we spoke to Matt Hughes. We've said the same thing to him. You've had a career filled with so many great fights and so many highlights. Is there any, maybe one or two or even three fights that really stick out in your mind that when it's all said and done, you can sit down on the couch with your kids and talk to them about it or even watch the fight with them?
You know what? My first fight ever, walking in against Joey Gilbert, the first time I won the world title, and those are just my two favorite moments of all time of my MMA career.
And, when it's all said and done, do you envision yourself, when you're not competing anymore, still being part of the UFC family, maybe like in a role like Chuck Liddell, being like sort of like an ambassador for the sport?
I would. I would. I don't know if I'd be as busy flying around. I probably would be more stuck in Hilo, but I would try to keep the connection with the UFC forever.
And how's the Hawaiian UFC gym coming along?
It's coming along real well. We're actually in talks about opening another one in this other area called Kapolei. So everything's going well, and they really wanna try to expand and see how they do.
Now, when you first started,
even. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, what's that? I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off there. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, sorry. They've been planning. Maybe they want to put just like 8 to 10 of them in the state, maybe even more. So they're really excited. The UFC gym staff and crew and stuff.
Now, when you first started DJPenn.com, did you envision it becoming as big as it is now? Because I mean, it's one of the top sites out there, and Bryan and I every day we strive to do our part to help make it the biggest site in mixed martial arts. So we definitely love being a part of the team.
You know what? I never gave up. I never gave up hope because honestly, the site was around for a long time. We were doing different things, but I always thought that no, there's a way to do something with the site. It can do something. It can do something, and I just stuck with it, and stuck with it. And you guys know the team members who are involved, helping me, and it kind of just all ends up happening. Like for all the shortcomings or anything, a lot of stuff just ends up happening organically, like meeting Pedro and then Scott Hernandez helping, one of my long family friends, helping out with the back end of the site, and then just kind of how we got in touch with you guys, you know, two serious people, you know what I mean, who really know their craft, and it's just amazing how it all fell together.
Well, you know, like I said, we definitely love being a part of the team. You know, Bryan and I, we were hosting a show before, you know, we started doing BJPenn.com radio, and, you know, it's really been an amazing journey since we made the jump over. I also want to ask you your thoughts on, because there's a lot of talk, you know, St. Pierre beats Carlos Condit in 2 weeks. A lot of talk about that super fight between him and Anderson Silva going down. If that fight does happen, how do you see it? How do you see it playing out?
You know what? St. Pierre has definitely been a top dog at the welterweight for a long time. But just after you've seen the kind of stuff that Anderson Silva does, and I don't see how you could ever bet against him. You know, but I would be worried for Anderson Silva if he dropped below 85. I think that's just his perfect weight right there. You know, so you don't want to see him too sucked up. But if Anderson Silva's at his perfect weight, I mean, no one has any reason why they should ever bet against that guy.
BJ, I have a couple questions from some of the listeners of the show. I just lost my spot. Just bear with me for a second. Yeah, you have a huge fan. She's down in Australia, and she promotes the show. She retweets everything I write. I mean, she's got pictures of you on her Facebook, on her Twitter. Her name is Tracy Shaw. She goes by the name of
Is it UFC Shorty?
Yep, that's her.
Yeah, that's one.
You know, I always, because I look at the only Twitter, for the app, right? I always look at her and I pull it up, and I always see her. I always hear her going. So, yeah, UFC Shorty, I see all your tweets, and thank you very much for the support.
Yeah, she's awesome.
For sure.
I mean, we got a reader here, or a listener, Young Hoochie, is asking, do you plan to make another title run?
You know what? At this point, after going through so many different things, and you know just how the game is, you know, I'm just to the point. You know, I just realized I can't look past what's going to happen on December 8th. You know, I know I don't even know what to say. You know, because you know, of course, if we end up doing well, we're going to fight again.
And
sure.
another reader is asking, you know, with the way, you know, fighters are trained today, with, you know, you look at a guy like Rory MacDonald who came up and wasn't trained in one discipline. He's been training all disciplines from the start. And, you know, you came up, you know, the first American to win gold in Brazil at the World Jiu-Jitsus. Do you feel that Jiu-Jitsu is still a huge part of the sport, and what could be done to spread, you know, help make Jiu-Jitsu a bigger part?
You know what it is? Everyone has to have, we might not see the Jiu-Jitsu that much, but everyone has it equipped. You know, everyone's armed with it at all times. So, but most fights end up, it is one of the most strangest things. I mean, it's happened to me. I've been in the ring when it's happened, when two great grapplers get into an amateur boxing match. You know what I mean? I've done it myself. You know what I mean? It's just the craziest thing, you know? I don't know how that happens. But I mean, I've always said it, even still till today, if you're not the aggressor and you just want to get away, Jiu-Jitsu is still the best self-defense in the world, I believe, because you could always run, and if they tackle you, you could defend yourself, you know? So, you know, I've always, of course, I'm going to feel like Jiu-Jitsu is everything, but I, of course, will always know the reality that the Jiu-Jitsu with the wrestling and judo and kickboxing and everything, that's what a great mixed martial arts fighter is, you know? So I think the only way to use the Jiu-Jitsu is to improve your wrestling and judo, you know? I mean, that's how it is.
Well, you know, we just had Ronda Rousey on a while ago, and we asked her about the possibility of maybe Jiu-Jitsu becoming an Olympic sport. And that's something I talked about before. I put it on my Facebook a while ago, and there's some people that were saying, like, you know, Brazil would just win every year. Is that something you think would happen in the future? Maybe jiu-jitsu becoming an official Olympic sport, or do you think that wouldn't be a good idea?
I think that would be a great idea. I think they should probably shorten it, make it the same time limit as judo is. But then again, jiu-jitsu is a different sport, but maybe the 10 minutes is too slow. Maybe make them, I don't know what judo is, if it's 5-minute matches or 6 or whatever. But, shorten it. I would make it the same time as judo. And, yeah, that would be awesome. And I bet you would see people crisscrossing in one Olympics. Some doing judo, some doing jiu-jitsu, because you'd start having the hybrids already.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would definitely push people's games to, to elevate themselves. And that's one thing, because, the people that were saying, it would just be a bunch of Brazilians winning. Well, for the first year, maybe, but then you'd see a lot of guys from, the States, you'd see from different countries working their way up to compete with those Brazilians, and I think it'd be very interesting.
It would. It'd be amazing. It would. But yeah, for sure, Brazil would always have Brazil would always be involved with it, just like Japan with judo. It would always have that connection.
BJ, we got a couple minutes before we got to wrap it up. I just wanted to first off, and I always speak for Mitch when I say it's just been a real pleasure working with Pedro. We came from a site that we really worked hard to get where we're at, and we didn't really have any support. And between Pedro and Scott, the support has been great, and we couldn't be happier than being with you guys. And I know your name carries so much weight. I was at I actually went to a regional event in Providence, Rhode Island, the one that Dave Batista, the former wrestler, fought on. And when the other guys in press row, we were introducing ourselves, and they saw I was with BJPenn.com, like the looks on their faces was priceless. I wish I could have got a video of it. I wanted to thank you, for bringing us on and giving us this opportunity. We're both looking forward to seeing you fight in December and kicking some ass, and it's great to have you back in the octagon. Want to give you this opportunity to, the floor is yours, to thank anybody, training partners, sponsors, talk about your family, anything that you want to get into, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I just definitely I want to thank everybody, thank all the fans. I want to thank you guys for putting this wonderful show on, and I'm glad you know now how BJPenn.com rolls. You get right in. But no, I just I thank everybody, thank all the fans, thank everybody for the support, and that's it. Definitely all my sparring partners and everybody's coming down, my trainers, and Aruka for being with me forever, and that's it, man.
All right, BJ, you have I guess it's still kind of daytime where you're at, but you enjoy the rest of the day, and thanks again for having you, for coming on, and hopefully we'll talk to you again after you pick up a W in December.
Definitely.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys very much for having me on.
All right, have a great time.
Guys. Okay, take it easy.
Have a good one, BJ.